Los Angeles, 4 years in, he still doesn't show any signs of going Hollywood. Clearly hasn't upgraded from Gap chic to designer threads. Isn't hobnobbing with the TV and movie stars who come to see his team, or at least to be seen. Still puts the job first and hours in, colleagues saying his claims of reduced intensity and increased maturity are a relative subject. But the most impressive, and probably most important, thing that hasn't changed about Andrew Friedman as he moved from heading baseball ops for the Rays to the Dodgers. How he does business. Many of those same core philosophies and methodologies he used to patch together competitive Rays teams for $40 million to $75 million remain in place, even though he has $200 million plus to play with in La La Land. That bullpen built on matchups and diverse throwing styles should look familiar. So, too, having lineups structured differently for lefty and righty hitters. Defensive shifts. A reliance on analytics? Yep. Having Kiki Hernandez and Chris Taylor bounce between the infield and outfield to essentially expand the roster is like seeing twin Benzabarists. And even with all the money Friedman has had to play with, $240 million plus in his first 3 seasons before this year's, stripped down into the 180s, he still sees immense value in finding bargains. For all their big buck stars, they collect cast-off players such as Max Muncy and Dylan Floro, and they let some kids play, such as Julio Urias and Friday's rookie starter, Walker Buehler. I think some of those disciplines that you learn with a small revenue team definitely carry over, Friedman said in advance of Friday's World Series Game 3 matchup with Boston, trailing 2-0. We used to celebrate when the Yankees and Red Sox would sign players to mega contracts, understanding that at some point that was going to be helpful for us. Depending on the timing of it, could be sooner rather than later, or it could put them in a hole that's hard to come out of. So I think having more resources is certainly an advantage, but I think it can be dangerous if you're looking to build competitive teams that can sustain success for many years to come through Major League free agency, implementing those ideas, and additional advanced thinking, throughout a storied and tradition-steeped organization that did things differently for so long, and with success, was challenging for the newly named president of baseball operations with the boyish looks and unusual resume. It was kind of a steep hill to climb coming into a new organization with that plan, said Dodgers general manager Farhan Zaidi. It required buy-in at a number of levels, from ownership to the clubhouse, the manager, players, coaches. People can see right away and respect how well he knows the game and how hard he works and how much he cares. The person he is and the passion he has for the sport, which can kind of get lost with all the talk about analytics. That's what creates the buy-in. That's been the heartbeat of this organization. Plus, Friedman works at it, as he did with the Rays, spending time in the clubhouse, around the batting cage, talking personable as much with superstars as support staff. Also, he still works pretty much the 24th of July 365, even though he and his wife, Robin, have 3 kids now, admittedly still scouring video on his iPad in his bed when he can't sleep. As you know, he is very present, Zaidi said. It's not like he is shooting off emails to different people. He is right there in the trenches with the coaches, with the players, talking things through, inviting debate, inviting discussion and inviting ideas. That kind of openness and that kind of communication has been a real key as well. Manager Dave Roberts raved about Friedman's knowledge of and feel for the game and communication skills. More so, Roberts said, he's probably the most relentless as far as time into his job than I've ever witnessed. Something else that followed Friedman was his success. Friedman, in concert with manager Joe Maddon and their staffs, transformed the Rays into contenders who made 4 playoff appearances, with 2 American League East titles and a World Series berth, in a 6-year window. Since leaving unexpectedly after a down 7th year and taking over the Dodgers in 2015, Friedman has led them to 4 National League West titles, 3 NLCS appearances and a 2nd straight World Series. The combined record of his teams in those 11 years, 1,006 to 778, a .564 clip with 8 playoff appearances. You can't argue with the results, Ace Clayton Kershaw said. He's put us in a great position to win every single year, but Friedman, 41, argues it's not enough. The ultimate is winning a World Series championship. It's what gets me back at it after we've lost our last game of the year, and the daunting task of getting back, Friedman said. And after that happens, it will be about winning a second one. That's just how I'm wired. Sounds familiar?